start with you.
You already start recording?
Yeah.
I'm over here drinking my frappe, bro.
Good content.
I was in mid-sip.
Content is
And you're
content.
opening up whatever.
I'm not on camera.
I feel like, well, yeah, you are.
Not recording.
You're
You're
on camera
live.
3.
I feel like our level of professionalism just does not continues to go down. What do you feel like? You feel like we're taking that next level? Remember that we do a podcast about that once? I feel like we did a podcast
Being
like
professional?
no, just about like our level of excellence.
No. It wasn't. We didn't have an episode on it. You had a.
I just went off on
You
y'all.
kind of went off on us, and you kind of. I didn't want to say threatened us, but you basically said, "I'm trying to bring y'all up, and y'all keep staying down here.
Yeah.
And y'all need to come up if you want to stick around." Is basically how you put it.
Yeah, apparently it was an empty threat.
I mean, look at this. Look
I was
at
like,
this.
he did
If
set up
you're
an extra
watching
camera.
this YouTube video,
He was here an hour, half hour
I'm stepping
early.
up my professionalism up.
Yeah. No, he wasn't here a half hour early. He was just
Oh.
here on time.
Oh, he said he was gonna be here at 1:30, so I assume.
I got here at 1:40.
He got here he was here like 20 minutes early.
That's still early.
No, that's on time.
I'm giving you the credit.
It's on
I
time.
appreciate that.
It's on time. What time were you here, Lauren?
2:06.
You
No,
sure?
2:10. It was 2:10.
Oh,
Sorry, it was
okay.
2:10. It was
I was going to
2:10.
ask you because I was like, man, you waited 4 minutes for me to come get to the door? I was like, man, girl, it's
No, it
too
was
hot to be out
2:10.
there like that. Too hot to be out there. Speaking of hot, you look like you were pretty hot this weekend, bro.
Rocky
Oh.
looked like he was melting this weekend. Like,
I was so mad at you guys this weekend.
All right. First of all, welcome into another episode of Running with James. My name is James Wyatt. I'm your host. And we are excited because we just had our team race event.
our big one. of the
I really
year.
wouldn't consider it a race. I mean, because we really weren't trying to like be the best of the best. We were just having
Except
fun.
James,
We're
his
just-
team kind of was.
How was our team trying to be?
Well, mostly because like y'all were like, we're gonna like get the #1 spot for relay. Well, Jessica, I think, was most upset.
Yeah,
about
I
it.
didn't say anything about the
Jessica,
number one spot.
Jessica
That
had
wasn't me.
her
I
eyes
didn't care.
set.
I mean, I wasn't running as hard as I could. I tried to not die this time
I
around.
definitely was not running as hard as I could.
Right. So, but
Oh, we weren't supposed to run as hard as we could?
Well, not.
I'm pretty sure I told you to manage your energy system. I
Yeah.
even told you I kept my heart rate like in the 150s.
It was brutal.
That's what I told everybody.
He
I was
did.
like, you
He said,
do what
"Just
you want to do.
maintain."
Just go out there, and if you want to go hard on the second lap. Those were my exact words that I
Yeah,
kept saying to
he told
everybody.
me that multiple times.
So, but
Uh,
so Rocky, finally, Rocky made it out to an event with us.
He'll be his last.
We had the whole crew out there, and you said you were mad at us. Well, why are you mad at us?
I was mad because of... Okay, so it's called the Habanero 100, so I can't get mad at the race for what it is.
Sure.
It is hot.
Yep.
Is-
I believe we have receipts as well for
all the times.
all
we
the
warned
warnings
you,
and everything we gave you leading up to this event. Receipts.
Just letting you know what this is gonna be like.
Yeah, so, but I thought it was kind of like a joke that it starts at noon, Neil came on the podcast, we had to check that out, and it was a good guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, it starts at noon. I was like, okay, that's fake.
Why would that be fake?
But
Why
I
would
guess
you
it's
be
actually
lying
happening.
about that?
I
It's
mean,
happening
we
at noon.
told you didn't even have to be. I even said we were not even leaving until like 10:30.
Why did you think that would be fake?
Because, what race starts at noon?
The
Habanero
Habanero
100.
100, also
Yeah.
known as the hottest race, like in Texas.
Yes, so I'm mad. I'm not mad at you guys, per se.
I mean, those were your exact words.
I am
Once
mad at you
again,
guys.
receipts.
Yes, I am mad at you guys. But it's because the race sucked.
It did.
It sucked. It wasn't it wasn't scenic
No,
whatsoever.
not at all. Not at
No,
all.
nothing is scenic about 7IL.
Yes, it wasn't nice trails. It was
No.
all sand.
No,
Most
it
of
was not all sand.
The bulk of it
It was like
was
70%
sand.
It wasn't
sand.
even like 70. You people.
No, so James came back. Actually, I ain't mad at James. Reminds me, he comes back. He was the first leg. He did a great job.
Yeah, I mean-
Nonetheless, my team did great. I was the weakest link, but you're only as strong as the weakest link. So you guys suck like me. But James comes in from his race. He was like, "Hey man, 3/4 is sand. The first 3/4 is
No.
sand. It's gonna suck."
I said 3/4 of a mile.
That is
I
true.
said there was one
Yeah, yeah.
section that was 3/4 of a mile, not 3/4 of the race.
Oh,
was,
you said 3/4 of a mile was sand.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a lie. Lauren, was 3/4 of a mile
No,
sand?
that's about right.
It wasn't about like 2 miles.
No,
2
so it's on and off.
some
I will
change.
say that course overall felt like it was at least 60 to 70% sand, but
It was.
that's how it felt like to me.
Here's the deal.
But I'm a weenie when it comes to sand.
You take off running. There was about 100 meters of sand once you made it to the top of the hill. You get out of that 100 meters of sand, it comes into grass, and you come around the curve, and then you cross the road.
Yeah.
When you cross the road, you're on grass again, running
are.
down the fence.
Yep.
And right before you go back into the woods, that's right at a mile.
Mm-hmm.
You go into the woods, and as soon as you hit the woods, sand. From there, it's about 3/4 of a mile of sand pretty much the whole way. There's a little bit of spots where it's not, but pretty much the whole thing's 3/4 of a mile. Then you get out of the 3/4 of a mile. You come down into like this creek bed. You come out, and then all of a sudden there's a pond right there.
The pond is all flat. It's
the
nice
pond
and solid.
had no sand around it.
No,
You
it
run
was
around
solid.
that.
You know what's
go
so
through the
crazy?
woods again.
The aid
Come
station.
through the gate. No sand. You run up a hill, and there's the aid station, which is at the halfway point. And then all of a sudden, you run downhill for like half a mile.
Dude, that downhill
in the
is
grass.
beautiful.
And then the rest of that that's mile 3.
Yeah.
So from mile 3 to mile 5 was all grass.
Mile 3 to about mile 4.6.
No, mile 3 to mile 5 was all grass. Then you go down again into like this little, like almost like a ravine thing, or whatever, that goes through the woods, right? That was all sand.
Yep.
But that was about 1/4 to a half a mile. And then you come out and you're back at the road again.
I will say this. I think what probably felt the worst, if you're not one used to running in sand, also if you don't know how to look for the less sandy spots, it's gonna feel like
That's
it's
true.
way worse. So if you didn't know how to look for the roots or the higher spots,
And I did say, find grass.
And
Find
that's
the
what
grass.
sucked. I'm over here just going to one side to the next. I'm like zigzagging, so that 6 miles feels so much longer.
It was still
It
only
is a
6
lot more
miles,
energy.
though.
It
You just
is a lot more
highlighted the
energy.
race. You were like, it's this, then you go to here, and I'm like thinking, I remember it being in there like,
I
this
will-
is not that short the way you made it just seem a little.
But
No.
but here's the deal.
You've used a lot of energy.
It
kind of
feels like
zigzagging.
it was longer
It does.
because you ran much slow. You probably maybe even walked in the sand. Because people were coming back going like,
I didn't
oh
walk.
my God, that was 5 miles. I was like, no, it wasn't, people. And half of those people were walking every time they hit the sand. Now, if you go out
I walked during
and
two
you
of the same
run
spots.
in and you run and you're doing a 9-minute mile for 1 mile. And then all of a sudden you hit the sand and you start to walk. Now you're going to spend 20 minutes on that mile plus. So now you're 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
So now you've got half of your race is sand.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same distance. So you don't walk, you run. Quick feet, get
Quick
through it.
feet. I definitely heard you when you told me that for the second lap, I definitely made sure like you were not walking in the sand, just quicken those feet, and it still sucked, but I got it.
No, I didn't. James was like, go about 10-minute pace. You'll be good if you hit a 10-minute pace. So my first mile, the first lap is 8:49. I'm like,
That's not a
"Ooh."
10-minute pace.
I know. I was like, I need to slow this down. I felt
Yeah, way
good,
down.
but I was like, I need to slow this down.
Because you start feeling it like halfway.
Because I don't know what 10-minute pace is mentally, and my watch is like all
I don't
over the
run
place.
a 10-minute pace.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh.
No, I just don't
Yeah.
know how to like. I don't know what that is like, because my schedule was all over the place. I don't know what a 10-minute pace is, and so I try to hit it, and it just went from 8:49, hit 10:15, 11:49, 12:15, 11, like
Well,
something.
Now you know what a 10-minute pace feels like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
none of that what I hit.
exactly.
Yeah.
It just was brutal.
I will say, the first time I saw you when you were back and you were like in the ice bath that we had set up, I was laughing so much because I asked you, so how's the dog? And you said this dog's been neutered. It was his exact words. I was like, that's so funny.
That's because there was no shade
he was so
whatsoever.
exhausted. Not when you went. When you went, I was pretty high noon.
It was hot.
It was hot. And then the second time I saw you, when I was sitting over and you walked over to me and Lee goes, "Are you even okay?" And you were just like,
You're pretty pale.
you looked
Bro.
so broken.
Yeah,
I
it
actually
wasn't
did.
like
I felt
whiteness
bad.
pale. It was like not. It wasn't like you haven't been out in the sun pale. It was like you were pale from.
I was
the heat.
worried. I
I-
lost years of my life.
I actually felt bad the second time I saw you.
my
I was like,
God. Yeah,
oh,
I
this poor
was
guy's never gonna trust us
Hurting
again.
so bad yesterday.
But you
And-
did it.
I did it, of course.
So I asked you this. Do you really think, if you're being totally honest with yourself, because we warned you, we told you what this was going to be like, we gave you all the heads up and all the information, but do you think you prepared yourself properly now that you've done it? With all the warnings and everything we gave you?
No,
Okay.
I was an AC boy.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many outside runs did you really do?
I was
I mean,
in the
I had the
AC.
single thing memorized because we went out there a few weeks. Remember ago, I told all y'all, it's like, hey, we're gonna go run the course 2 weeks before the race, and nobody came. No, well, at least y'all didn't come.
I remember
was at an
replying to
event.
you. I said I would love to go. I just didn't want to go.
Yeah.
Well, that's
but
different.
you could have
You could have
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
You should have
She
gone.
could have gone too, but instead she decided to go do some competition
I
somewhere.
was at a race.
Right, last minute. So, like, you could have gone, and you would have been very familiar with the course. You would have known exactly what to expect. Whole thing.
I'm just saying, you know what you should have done? You should have taken one of the night laps. Night laps are actually really nice. They're
I mean,
still
my
My
hot.
team was too fast.
There was only one night lap.
Shout out to my team.
Like fours in the night.
We only had one night lap.
I had.
Oh, y'all
I
did.
ran at 4.
We had
I think.
one night
I
lap.
ran
We had like
4 or
2 or
5.
And
3.
my expectation was to have 0 night laps.
We had like 2 or 3.
But we had one night lap. So I had to run that night lap. That whole thing was in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh, you ran the whole. It was the whole thing.
The whole thing was in the dark.
Dude, my light went out at 3.5 miles, and it was pitch black. It was 1
Yeah.
a.m. when I went. Pitch
So
black.
that's also my issue with the race. Poorly navigated.
Yes, it was
Poorly,
yes.
And I felt bad because no volunteers volunteered.
'Cause
So I got to a water station. There was nobody there, and the
Oh, the
water
first
was
water
empty.
Oh, the first and the
Yeah.
last one. Yeah, that was just kind of like self-manned.
And
'cause
it was
they're-
empty water jugs, and
yeah.
it makes you so angry.
They were
because,
definitely struggling for volunteers because they'd sent out an email earlier in the week
The
saying,
day before.
"Hey, please, we need the volunteers." So I would like to say publicly to the people who did volunteer, thank you so very much. You being there was awesome, and we really appreciate you trying to keep it upbeat and being there for the people. To the EMTs, hats off to you. You put in overtime, and yeah, thank you for making it possible. And I felt really bad for everybody, honestly.
Yeah, they carted 4 people off
Dude.
and one guy got life flighted.
I heard that.
Maybe not life flighted.
'Cause I
He
didn't
got
see an
airlifted.
I never saw a helicopter.
No, they took him to the hospital in Belleville, and from Belleville they sent him.
Airlifted.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
wow.
So not life lighted, but like airlifted.
Yeah.
Right. 'Cause
I mean,
I guess they couldn't
Dang.
help him.
That heat was no joke.
Yeah. I mean,
no shade.
2 people went down on the first lap.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, and
immediately.
didn't y'all say they went out like in the first mile?
Yeah, one dude, and I think I figured out what happened
Oh, what?
with us and our team.
Oh,
This is not concrete.
well, let me say that too.
Okay.
The poor, there's just the officiating over everything. Like you finish a race and they got to take your bib number down.
They gotta write
It's
your number
like,
down.
They don't have the.
Which I get that, like to kind of like have a backup, but you had a chiming
yeah,
chip
we had
on
a
the
chip
back
on
of the
it.
thing. So
They
that should
changed
have.
it this year, though. Like, remember, everything was different. Like, last year, you had just handed off the same bib
Yeah,
number
but you had a
this year.
timing chip
Yeah.
on. So they had individual timing chips for everybody on your team,
Mm-hmm.
so every person knew exactly whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like there should have been it should have just been verified. Like, oh, 5:14 just finished. Oh, okay, yeah, you were 5:14. Thank you. But that's not what happened.
That is not what
It
happened.
was a little chaotic
It was
up
one
there.
guy.
Yeah.
Trying to manage everyone who came through. Well, let's just bring him back over here. I need to get his bib down.
Yeah. He was,
And then,
he was-
like-
he was
Goodness.
So like we
rushing.
were like in first place, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much from the moment I got back, right? So I came in first, and like
from the first or second lap? For
From the
you?
first lap.
From the first lap.
and then like all day long, we were ahead of everybody.
Yet again, I said sorry for my team. Weakest link.
And then like you went, right? And then I think after you was Trent,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So
Trent,
Trent, so
yeah.
it was Trent and then me. I was
Trent
I
was
was after Trent,
fast.
right? And then I come in and all of a sudden we're second, right? By like 4 or 5 minutes, I think, or 7, maybe it was 7 minutes. I don't know, whatever it was. But he was like, yeah, that team right there won. And so they're over there, they're standing there, whatever. And as they walk out, they're like, oh yeah, our things are all screwed up. You can check our Strava though. And they walk off, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Couldn't even check your Strava.
I was like, no big deal. I mean, we've gotten second every time we've gone. It's our tradition. I'm cool with it, right? I think a couple people were a little salty with it. So I started looking
Yeah.
at it, and like I'm looking at the times, and it's all over the place. Like
Y'all's or the other people's?
theirs,
Theirs.
like the first place team, they had like their first person was like an hour and 50 minutes or something. And their second person was like 48 minutes, and then the third person was like 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
And then someone was like 16 seconds, and then someone was like 30 seconds. I was like, that math doesn't add up. What's
Yeah,
going
math ain't
on?
mathing.
And math ain't
Right?
mathin'.
But this is a theory I have, okay? I have no proof of this, but this is a theory I have. So you remember I told you there was a guy that went out first, right? The guy in the all black. And he took off like a bat out of Hades, right? That dude was gone. And so I think we lost him around mile 1.5, somewhere in there. He went the wrong direction. And we tried to yell at him, like, you're going the wrong way, you're going the wrong way, you're going the wrrong way. But we lost that. Like, he took off, he went left, he was supposed to go right.
Oh, look, up the hill? Sure.
There was just a point
know.
where he was,
What?
I don't know. I'm trying, like you saying he went left, you went right. I was trying to figure out like where he like messed up. But it doesn't matter.
He went
So-
the wrong way on one
so
of
it
the.
doesn't matter.
It was a
Keep
place
going.
you shouldn't have turned, right?
Okay.
So, like, we kept going, and so it was just me and these 2 other guys, and then at one point it was just me and this other guy, right? And so we finished, we handed off, and Chris, who was running the first leg of his relay, came in maybe 10 minutes after me or so. It wasn't that long after me. He's like, oh man, I found a guy that was like on the side of the trail or whatever, and he was passed out. He was in a bad way. And it was the guy that had taken off super fast, wearing the all black or whatever. So the people that went off at 12 were the 100-milers, the 100Ks, and the relays, right? So that's the only people that were in there. Nobody running a 100K or 100-miler is going out that fast. So he was obviously part of a relay. So I feel like what happened is if you remember, I don't know if you guys read the rules, but if you start your lap and you don't finish your lap, your whole team DNFs.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
No, I didn't
so you
see
can't
that.
you can't go out and stop halfway and then be
Just how
done.
you're done, yeah.
Right? So what it looked like happened, because you look at that first person's time, was it was 2 hours and 50 minutes or something crazy. It was a long time. What I think happened is they went and got him, took him to the whatever, and the rest of his team went and ran his loop to finish his loop, right? They ran around. That's what would take the extra time. And then they started running their people through. And so I think their time got mixed up because their first lap, they basically had to run 2 laps instead of just 1, right? And then after that, they only had 4 people. So all those 4 people had already ran through 2 times each. Because here's what happened. When you guys finished, that same team was coming in.
The ones that got the picture and got the first place?
What?
Yeah,
Wait, what?
their last lady was coming in. And she came in after y'all did y'all's picture or whatever, and she finished, they high-fived or whatever, and they took a picture.
That makes no sense.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That math ain't nothing.
I think what happened is they did that to help, so they didn't DNF, but then as they went through, their people all got their repeats, right? So so 2 people would have had to run it 3 times, right? So instead, they just all did their thing. Because if you look at the times, if you kind of look at it or whatever, that's what it looks like. And the only reason I even thought that was because after y'all were done, they were still out there running, unless they were just running for fun.
You sure some of their members weren't running something else, not the
It was the
relay?
same
It was
people
the
that
same
were,
people?
yeah,
Check my Strava.
yeah. So check your Strava.
That's what the
That's what
person
she
had
said. So, but it was just weird. So that to me, if you have the little timing chip things, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah,
Right?
you would think.
You just go off the timing chips, and whatever the time is, it's the time. So it was just really confusing. And so, I mean, the good thing is you don't really win anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And it
just
doesn't
get-
really matter.
You get that little felt banner. That's
You
literally
get
it.
a piece of wood, and that's what also
Hey,
was not fun.
just that little metal,
Like,
the
it
wood
wasn't-
metal.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it at all. It
I mean,
was-
experience. You got to be out there with everybody.
and I lost it, but I found it.
Oh, I
Well,
have.
at least you found it.
Yeah.
I'll say I accessed. Somehow I ended up with 2. So, if you
So here's
lost
the
it, I
deal.
might
There are
have it.
races you go out and you love them, and you're like, oh my God, dude, I got to keep doing this one again. And then there's races you go out and do, and you're like, oh, this sucked. Right? So, but it wasn't about the race as much as it was
I think it's like a team thing.
like a team camaraderie.
That was
Yeah.
the best part. Was waiting,
Hanging
the
out.
in-between,
hating
the
out,
in-betweens.
right? We were talking and sitting in the ice bath.
we were all getting
and
to chill together.
cutting it up. Lauren was this chick.
Have you ever eaten a hot pepper before?
Yeah.
Yes.
The best part is right before you're like, oh, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, the
Whenever-
anticipation?
Yeah,
Oh.
the anticipation.
The
Then you
build-up.
do it, and
And then you're like, oh, why?
yeah, I've done a challenge before in San Antonio. Like, if you do this and you don't take any water for a minute, you get your name on a board. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. I can
do
eat
that.
this and wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
I did the minute, but they don't tell you about the whole day after that.
Oh, yeah,
Where
it-
you're in the
it
toilet
hurts.
throwing up.
It
Yeah.
And you're trying to drink milk.
kind
And you're
of
just
pepper was
throwing
it?
out. It was like all the ones in one or something like that. It was like a hot chip challenge or something
Oh,
like
it's
that.
a chip. Okay.
And I was dying the rest of the day. Ruined my whole day.
Yeah.
That's
that
what
1
this-
minute.
That
that's
sounds
for
like something I
one
would
minute.
do.
And this is what this race did. It ruined my whole day for
Well, you're out there for 2 hours,
Yeah,
right? 'Cause you had
exactly.
2 laps.
So it ruined his 24
So-
hours. Those 2 hours.
It ruined the
20
next day. Yesterday was miserable.
Yeah. You looked fine yesterday,
I was trying to keep
bro.
it
I
up.
was
I slept. I felt bad for y'all.
I was
felt so bad.
struggling yesterday morning.
felt so
oh
bad.
my gosh, I was woo, dude. When my alarm went off, I got home at I think 3:45, 3:50, something like that. I got in the shower and then got in the bed. So I was in bed I think right at 4:00. My alarm, whatever, was set for. I actually set my alarm for 7:30. I usually get up at 6:30 on Sundays, but I set my alarm. I was like, screw it. I'm sure I can get ready in 15 minutes. I know I can do it. I just took a shower. There's no reason for me to take another one
There
in the
you
morning.
go.
So, but my eyes popped open at 6:30, And I was like, oh, it's not time yet. My alarm hadn't gone off. I'm just go back to sleep. And then like I went back to sleep and my alarm went off immediately. Well, actually my alarm didn't go off. I was like laying there and I was like, dude, my alarm's gonna go off.
That's the
7:30.
worst.
It's 7 o'clock. I was like, let me see what time it is. And I looked over and saw that it was
Time to go.
6:43, and I was like, I probably can't get ready in 15 minutes. So I got up and I took a shower, and then my alarm went off, and I was like, but I was like, I was dragging butt up in here, man.
I felt bad. I was thinking about you and Leah all day. I was like, ugh, I feel so bad.
Not the rock dog.
Well, you got to go home earlier. We sent you home earlier.
Yeah, this dude was home. He was in bed by midnight.
Yeah, we
I was
sent
in
you
bed
home
by
earlier.
about almost 1 o'clock.
Okay, they
Yeah.
were home in bed by
3
4.
hours more, bro. I don't want to
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah, but I didn't go to bed. I couldn't sleep. In pain. Back was hurting. I couldn't get cut from my own
Dude,
Dude,
bed.
back
as soon as
hurt.
my head hit the
I
pillow,
was hurting.
I was
sunburned?
gone.
No, I am sunburned. I couldn't even like.
Did you use sunscreen?
Yes, I
How many times?
lathered myself.
How
Yeah.
many times?
It was supposed to be like every 80 minutes, so maybe like 5, 6
Okay.
times.
I was
Oh,
gonna
wow.
say.
You
'cause
did more
said-
than I did
I was
then.
gonna say if you said once, I'm gonna.
Yeah, no, I did it. I was spraying and scrubbing my temples. I was so glad my face didn't get sunburned.
Yeah.
But my shoulders did.
I don't know, man. I mean, it was
Maybe you could do
definitely
more of
warm
those
out there. It was
runs.
hot for sure.
No shade.
So, but whatever.
I would do a special shout out though to Jess and Danny. Those two women freaking crushed it.
Dude,
Yeah.
they did. Those
They-
are some
Jess
other
is a
level.
monster, man.
Jess
Jess
is a
is on
monster.
another
She's a
level.
monster,
like,
dude.
don't deserve to be in her presence. She's
Yeah.
so
She's
a monster.
fast.
They both had negative splits.
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
Both of them crushed it.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
And Jess like doesn't sweat. Like she comes in and she
I know,
looks
she got
like she
through.
literally just walked out of an air conditioned building.
Yeah, she got through, and she didn't even look like she had been struggling or whatever at
No,
all.
she was
Like,
fine.
She was
not even look-
smiling and giggling the whole day. I don't know how she could do
She was
except-
salty, though, I feel
except
like,
when-
at the
when
end
we
of the
found
day.
She
out,
was definitely
yeah.
a little salty.
She was salty at the end of the day. So
We've done that race 3 times, 3 years. This was by far the hardest.
it gets worse every year.
It does. I enjoy the event, but I wouldn't be opposed to us trying a different one.
Yeah, I'm not doing it again.
Sorry, people.
I'm definitely not.
Yeah, I'm not doing it again. I'm done. So we'll figure out something else. So
We'll
it's
try
just,
something new.
it's just the reason I feel like we did it is because there's nothing really going on during like July, June, July, and August. So that's a long time to go without doing some kind of
something.
an event, right? So
We brought in a lot of new people, though. That was fun. We
We were
brought in a
packed.
whole lot of new people.
A lot of women.
A
Yeah.
lot of ladies
Man.
out there.
yep, yep. Yeah, we had a full
Because
crew.
the
It was
ladies
awesome.
are the only ones crazy enough to get up there. Like,
Yep.
yeah, we
Yeah.
got this.
So I think we had, I guess, like maybe 25, 26 people or so. And then Cray, Champions Running Association, they had a couple people. They had like 12 or so.
15 or something
12
like
or
that.
15
Yeah.
people, right?
They had
so,
like 3 teams.
and we all kind of just conglomerated together. So it was a cool little like setup that we had.
Yeah, it was really fun. Shout out to Jen and Tommy for bringing the RV. It was awesome. And then I'd like to also say thank you so much to Carlos for stepping up.
Yeah.
And
Last minute.
Super last minute.
Yeah.
And preventing me and Leah from having to try to do those laps 3 times.
I
'cause
know.
That would have been
Yeah, that wouldn't have happened.
Leah was like,
That
no,
wouldn't
we
happen.
would have
When y'all said, when Leah said that y'all were going to do that, I was like, okay,
I
D.
would have I would have suffered through it, but Leah was like, no, you would not. After the first one, I would have just DNF'd us. It's like, oh.
Yeah,
I
Leah would
get
not
it.
have done that 3 times. She was pissed when she came in. Like she was, I knew she was gonna come in angry, and she was. I want to give a shout out. I'd like to give a shout out to James for having the wherewithal to bring that ice bath
And
all
Rocky
that
Yes.
for
ice.
bringing it.
And Rocky for hauling it.
Thank you, I appreciate it. You know what? I also want to give a shout out to Lauren for bringing the kiddie pool.
Hey, it got used.
She was working so hard to make this kiddie pool a thing.
You know what?
Nobody was interested in
No,
it.
they were. Diana said, I don't want to get in the big one. And then Veronica said, I don't want to submerge myself. I just want to sit in something. So
No,
guess what?
this
It
chick
got
worked so
used.
hard to get it used. And then if it hadn't been for us, it would still be there. Do you
Yeah,
know where
it's
your
actually
kiddie
still
pool
in the
is?
back of my
It's
truck.
at the back of your
You-
truck, I'm sure. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. I think I was asleep when y'all packed everything away. I was
You were asleep. I didn't know that was
sleeping.
you.
Just getting my rest.
This
Y'all-
chick was like bouncing around, walking everywhere. Oh,
How did you do that? You were all over the place.
What I do, I just go. I want to make sure everyone gets their photos. It's very important to me that
I got no
everyone feels.
photos.
I'm sorry, I can't
got
be there
videos?
for
What are you talking
everybody.
about?
Of like me dead.
I mean, that's what you look like.
I'm sorry,
I mean,
I
I know
can't literally
action
be there for
shots.
everybody. Because
That was an action
you
shot,
know
bro.
what? You know how many pictures or videos I got of me? 1.
Dang.
So how's that feel? I'm always the one getting the
Carlos
shot.
took a video of you. Several people took videos of you.
I
Maybe
have
maybe they
2.
haven't sent them to
You're
you,
right, I
but
have
you've
2.
gotten
Leah
videos.
got one of me doing my little dancer leap, and then I got one from Carlos, and I got one of a pig. I got the one
I don't
of
know
the
about that.
pig.
I don't know about that.
Which I thought was super cute.
But there's several actually. I've seen several photos of you, so
Oh,
maybe
I
you haven't
haven't-
gotten them.
They
or
might
you
be
didn't
on
take 'em,
there.
but there's several.
So
of
I
you.
haven't seen them. So, and honestly, group me is not working for me today. I can't see anything on
So
there.
anyway,
Anyway.
You look like you're about to say something.
I was gonna say enough about this race. I'm done with it.
Yeah?
I want to race.
Never again?
He wants to forget about it.
Let me
bury
ask
it.
you this, okay? So we went through the race. This is not a, I apologize, everybody. This is not a race recap, okay?
Felt like it was going that way.
I know Lauren wants it to be. She always wants to just like relive the moments.
I do.
It's such precious moments.
I do.
These are the moments of our lives. These are the days of our lives. But after this race, all right, I think Lauren already asked you about it, but you said you probably weren't prepared for it. Okay, you had months, bro. Like at least 3 months.
We gave you so much warning.
Well, I'll be honest. I was like,
We did the time trial.
You were even upset that
like
you had
8
to
weeks ago.
audition for the time
Yeah,
trial.
I was.
we did like the time trial. I feel like 2 months ago.
that's
Yeah.
the thing. I was on point up until BC Kids Camp. I was like, that threw my schedule off because I wasn't ready for a kids camp. I didn't realize how tired that would make me. Because I'm not.
You live in a very soft life.
I really do live a soft life.
Okay.
AC
All right.
boys
People
and
living in glass houses shouldn't be throwing stones. All right. So that's actually
No, I'm definitely not.
that's
one
actually a
that should-
perfect time segue
Yeah.
to talk about what we're going to be talking about today. All right? So I meant to do this to you guys and say, you know what? I want you guys to like do a day in the life of yourselves. Right? I saw this this like thing the other day. This guy gets on, right? And have you noticed how many gurus there are out there right now?
All of them.
There's like so many, like there's influencers, there's micro influencers, there's macro influencers, there's everybody's an influencer now. And this is what I love. Everybody is an expert and a pro. Do you hear what I'm saying? Pro. And this dude was being like interviewed or talked to or something. And I heard this thing as well as like, did you know there's like a thing, like a trend right now? It's like false podcast interviews.
Oh yeah, where they
What's
fake a
that?
podcast.
They fake a podcast
Just to get
for a
the-
social media post.
Yeah.
Right?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. So it's a big thing right now. Like they're faking being on a podcast and they're using it strictly as like to make a reel.
Like,
Right? And they'll make that reel. So yeah, so it's like, okay, this guy's an expert, he knows what people are interviewing him, whatever. And so there was actually an email I got from our podcast thing or whatever saying like beware of this, how to set yourself apart, stuff like that, whatever. So I was like, people would actually do that. But I mean, it's actually, I guess, a good idea because podcasting is kind of a thing now, right? It's popular, it's hot. So anyway, this guy was like talking. He's like, let me tell you about my day. And he was like intense. He was like David Goggins intense, like a little over the top for me. But he's like, I wake up every morning, 4 a.m. in the morning. 4 a.m. to 4:15, I do some deep meditation. 4:15 to 5 o'clock, my wife and I, we get on the treadmill and we do active meditation together. During this time, it allows us to sync our chakras and get our ovaries aligned together. And well,
Doing
he's
the
lining
cycle.
up. Two have become one. They're cycling together, right? He said by 5 o'clock, we're done off the treadmill. We jump off. That's when we go and hit the heavy weights. My wife and I, we do a heavy weightlifting session for about 30, 45 minutes. Then we jump off that, and for the rest of the hour, we do some deep meditation. This dude's meditating for 4 hours every single morning. Then he's like, from 6 to 6:30, then we get our kids up and we have breakfast. And that's the time I spend specifically with my children to focus on my kids, to get them started for their day. By 7 o'clock, we get them off to school. Now I'm ready to start my work day. By 8 o'clock, I've already done more than most people have done all week.
It sounds
And
like
more
it.
meditating, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say more meditation.
Sounds like more meditation people do in their life.
I was like, I've never even heard of active meditation before, but maybe, you know what? I think pretty much that's all I do is active meditation.
Active thinker.
Yeah, just nonstop. I'm just walking and meditating, what have you. So I was wondering, I was just like thinking, okay, I was like, so that is a lot of stuff. So if that's really accurate, if he's not just making that up for
Clout.
whatever, just cloud or, I'm super successful and this is the only way to be successful. Because, I mean, you see stuff like that all the time. People are like, you got to get up at 3 a.m. if you're going to be successful. Right? You got to get up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You got to get all your workouts done. You got to do 6 hours of work before 9 a.m., right, for your day to be super successful. And so then there's another guy I saw. He was like, I have 3 days, I have 3 days or 3 or 4 days in one day. He's like, I get 3 days done in one day. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I do 3-hour work days. I get up in the morning, I work out. I work for 3 hours, right? And I'm very focused in my work. So I'm getting a day's worth of work done in 3 hours. And then I come back later in the day, midday, I do another 3 hours of work. I get another days of work done. Then I come back in the afternoon. I do it again. So that means in a week, I'm getting almost 2 weeks worth of work done in 1 week. You let me do that, I'm going to outwork you all the time. The math didn't really add up.
I was going to say, I'm sitting here trying to like put the...
Like what he was saying made no flipping sense. I don't know what he's
Here's the
doing.
deal, though. If you say it with the confidence of David Goggins, the world will believe you.
People are going to listen to you, and they're going to be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, so what am I doing with my life, right? Like I feel pretty busy all the time. So I was like, what does my daily routine look like? What is my schedule? Because I have my routine is a little weird just because of how, my work day is and stuff like that. But like, am I that intentional about what I'm doing? Maybe the guy really is that intentional. Maybe he's knocking it out of the park from 3 to 7 in the morning, right? And getting his meditation like nobody's business. But just a little confusing. So I was just like, what does my day look like? And so with you guys talking, I meant to tell you, and this is on me, so I need y'all to forgive me. I want to openly ask you to forgive me because I didn't do this. To have you guys sit down and write out your day, right? To challenge us, to see if maybe we could be a little bit more intentional with our day and a little more productive with our day. Because let me ask you too, do you feel like you're most productive during the day?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Rocky?
me?
Yeah. I was say he said he's talking to us. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm productive with the sun.
Okay, great. So what does productive look like to you, okay? Now, here's the question I have, and this is the reason why, okay? How does this pertain to running? Because I have, I get new clients all the time, and then I also have people who I've been coaching or maybe working with for a while, and, schedules change, things happen, and exercise is usually one of the first things to either get dropped or one of the first excuses for not being able to go run or do exercise is because they don't have the time
It's
to
the
do it.
easiest thing to cut out.
And so they're like, oh, I'm out like you, man. I don't work out all day long. I don't work out for a living, right? And I don't really work out for a living. I work people out for a living.
I was gonna
right?
say, because even when you lead classes, there's days where you're still in your normal clothes. You're like just telling them what to do and guiding.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, I'm not working.
You're not
out in
actually
class.
doing the work.
No, I mean I do try to combine sometimes because that's the only way I'm going to get it done. But
Sure.
no. So I just was wondering, like, okay, since we just did this race, right? You obviously didn't perform to your expectation, right? It was way harder for you than say me, right? Or for Danny or Jess, right? So that probably means you didn't put in the work.
I think it's way harder for me than for everybody and anybody else. I feel like I'm the only one that looked dead.
Nah, I think other people struggle too.
I think, yeah.
Maybe
I
in our
think-
group. I mean, because Doug came in and Doug was
Doug
like,
looked pretty miserable.
Doug's like, I'm too old for this shit.
That-
You know, when
Doug
people
looked
came
good.
to someone like, you look like how I feel. Like,
That's what
dang.
Doug said to you?
No, everybody.
Oh.
Doug,
You were just
Maybe like
more.
5,
you were
6,
like
7 people.
more emoting how other people were like feeling deep down.
I think everybody else was trying to be hard.
All right,
But
kid.
Doug wasn't. Doug was like, this is some bull crap.
Yeah, he was.
It's like, this is bull. I'm never doing
Yeah,
this
he
again.
came back because I got a few names I can call you around named James, but you're going to have to punch me if I do. I was like, dang.
So, but would you say that you fully prepared yourself for this event?
No.
Okay. Would you say you were halfway prepared for this event?
No, not even
say
a quarter,
beyond.
Okay.
probably.
All right. Sweet. So, with that being said, you had plenty of time to do it. As
Oh,
far
yes.
as like you had enough in advance notice,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, like if you're more productive during the day or whatever, if the productivity, what does productivity look like? What does your day look like? All right. So before I even get you to tell me what your day looks like, I'm going to start with Lauren. Lauren,
Yes.
you say you're productive during the day. What
Yes.
does that look like? What is the workload or what is the production that you put forth to be?
Do you want me to give you like a schedule or just kind of give you like a task list?
Give
of
me
things
like
I do?
things you did in a day you felt productive.
In a day I felt productive.
Yeah.
Got up early and took my dog out, cleaned. I clean usually, pretty good cleaning because I like to have a clean house and I have a lot of cats and they get hairy. So clean, walk my dog, feed everybody, all my animals, try to feed myself, and then I sit down. I do emails. I do usually some graphic posts.
Like when
for-
you say emails, like what is that? What does that
responding
entail?
to emails, going through emails I have coming in maybe for auditions, like trying to like write down auditions I need to do. If I have emails coming in from you,
So like is that one email? Is that 100
it ca-
emails?
It really varies. Some
Like give me a number. Just give me a
We'll
generic.
say a generic number. We'll say 2 or 3.
2 or 3 emails. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Then you said after emails was what?
I do a lot of like my graphic work or like my social media marketing for BC Fitness, another small business that I do marketing for, and then also my other studio, Row House.
Okay. So how many is that? Is that like you're talking about you're doing 4 graphics, 20 graphics? Like, if you're productive in a
on
day, how many
average-
graphics do you feel like you produce?
On average, let's say I do like maybe 4 or 5 graphics.
4 or 5
and that
graphics.
could be stories. That could be like email information. That could be like posts. that
Okay,
could be
so if you
Facebook.
accomplish 4 or 5 graphics in one day.
This is a really good day
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand
It's
what
a
you're saying.
good day.
That's what you're feeling is productive.
Yes.
Okay. Then what else?
because graphics take me a while.
Okay, whatever. What else?
What else do I do? Usually my meal prep. If again, prepping myself food takes me about an hour with
Okay.
prep and eating.
And this is all like what, by 9:30, 10 o'clock?
When I get started,
No, this is all done by 9:30 or 10 o'clock,
No.
you're saying.
no, I'm telling you, graphics take me a while because I really like get hyper focused
Uh-huh.
on like little details.
Okay.
And so I can spend a lot of time making sure something really is how I envision it in my head.
Gotcha. Okay. So what time are this productivity leads up to? Because you're eating, so I'm assuming this is like lunchtime, or is this like later in the afternoon?
Like let's say 1.
Okay. And then what?
Squeeze a workout in, get a workout in. So either I'm going to run my miles or I'm coming to the gym
Mm-hmm.
at some point. And when I'm at the gym, I'm usually here for an hour and a half to 2 hours, realistically.
Okay. And then?
What else do I usually end up doing? If I go to the small business that I do marketing for, then I usually am getting more content. I'm having a meeting with the people there about like what they want to focus on in the next coming weeks. Or I talk with you about the same thing, usually a marketing meeting or like a podcast meeting or whatever. I try to work on playlists or theme ideas for Row House when we do music themes.
Okay.
And then I make dinner. And
Okay.
then I take Uji out again. I maybe do more house chores.
Is this like 3 o'clock now we're talking about
No, this
in the
is
afternoon?
late.
This is late in the
This is getting
evening?
later.
Okay. All right. So I have some notes.
Yeah, go for it.
I've got some notes.
This felt very weird to do.
Rocky, go.
Six,
That was dramatic.
You don't have
This
to go
dude
by, like,
just did
time.
like.
Just give us like a list.
6:45 a.m.
No, we don't need to hear
we
times.
Don't need
We
it
don't
like
care.
That. Because we'll be here all
6:45
day.
a.m. I
Okay.
wake up.
Meditation.
Meditation.
Yeah, for 4 hours.
No, for 10 minutes.
Okay, 10-minute meditation.
Butler knocks on the door, tell me breakfast ready. I eat my breakfast: pancakes, blueberries on the side, eggs, and 2 slices of bacon.
So your breakfast is made for you.
Butler.
Oh, your butler.
Yes.
My bad.
Yes.
Also known as your wife.
Also known as himself,
Also known as Alfred.
Alfred. Oh, okay.
Yes. It was a long night. He tells me what the day was like, what arrests were made.
We're gonna be here all day.
All right, I'm kidding.
This
All
dude
right.
is insinuating he's Batman. That's what he was waiting on us
I
to
know.
say.
I heard Alfred. I got
All
it.
right. Okay. Serious note.
Your ramble is now
That is your ramble.
revoked. That was your ramble
That
for
was
the
your
day.
ramble.
No, I was like 10 seconds.
Anything longer than 30 seconds on that.
All right. So the person who lays beside me wakes up at 6 a.m. I usually get a little ugh when I hear them get up. Like, gosh, dog it. That means my time is coming. 7 o'clock, my time came. I'm up. So I get up, I shower, and then I go to the kitchen. I make myself some breakfast.
Pancakes with
You are
blueberries on the
Alfred?
side.
You're Alfred?
Protein waffles.
Lego off waffle.
I
Lego
put them in the toaster.
Alfred.
Yes, which I'm also mad about Sunday. Messed me up. I was so out of it.
It's all my fault.
Put it in the toaster. Came to church, took a bite, almost threw up. It was still cold.
That was my fault.
Oh my goodness, yes, your fault indeed.
Okay, so you eat breakfast by 7:30. You're done with breakfast.
7:30, I'm done with breakfast.
Okay, then what?
Then on to the laptop.
Okay, getting work done.
Getting work done. I gotta do some transactions on QuickBooks.
How many transactions would you say you do?
per client? Probably like 20.
20 transactions per client. And how many clients is that?
2 to 3, depending on the day.
Okay, so that could be 60 to 90
Transactions. yeah.
transactions.
Just approving it. So I'm done by like 9:30, 10.
Okay.
Not too much.
Yep.
And then big
Any
dog.
emails you have to respond to or get into?
I don't really do the email part. I put notes down for someone else to do the email for us.
Oh, okay.
And I usually got text message that I can text the client. We're all,
A little closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you try to be a little more available
yeah.
for them. I get that.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I got a text today. I get texts all the time from them.
Yeah.
Baby's up, 10 o'clock. I get the
Your
bottle
baby's
ready
up
about.
so late.
I know times. Well, it could be 11 sometimes, but I usually have the bottle ready for her. Change the diaper, give
Butler.
her the bottle. That's
He
it.
is Alfred.
Yeah, I'm the butler to her, big time. Get her ready, and then it's party time for her while I'm on the laptop doing stuff. Lately, I've been researching a lot for like church.
Yep.
Uh,
like media, social
media,
media
yeah,
stuff.
media stuff is how this came about.
Like
So
video, cinema, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to learn as we go. Because I also want to up the production and run it with
Of
James.
course, right.
And also, I like learning the stuff. So,
Yeah.
so it's my school time because I got free time.
Right.
I'm
You're doing
blessed.
some macro learning.
Yeah, macro learning. Yeah, I got
Macro
blessed.
and micro learning, yeah.
Exactly. I'm a YouTube scholar right now.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
definitely going to YouTube University for all this stuff. So I do a lot of research when it comes to that. And then 4:30 hits.
Okay.
My day was going on TV. And I mean, I guess there's other stuff that I do as well because I got the photo booth business, Christmas light business. Found a new supplier through that recently, doing my research.
Yep.
I'm going to be the plug for Christmas lights this year. If you need it, holla at me. And that's pretty much most of my day. And then Seti comes home, and then we party.
Yeah. Y'all party? Like literally y'all put the DJ on and y'all start dancing?
We definitely dance with the baby. Well, I definitely dance with the baby. She doesn't. But
Yeah.
no, we get to feed the baby, and then that's our time. We get to hang out with. We get to catch up because she's gone all day from 7
So
o'clock.
this is about like 5 o'clock?
5:36, almost 6.
5:36?
Yeah, we're hanging out.
And what time do you usually go to bed?
She gets to bed at 9:30. I'll be in there, but I won't go to bed till 10:30, 11.
So what are you doing between 6 and 9:30?
Hanging out with her. We're catching up how her day was, watching TV, tell her whatever Nyla did, or we're trying to teach Nyla something new. Right now, walking is the big thing.
Okay. I have some notes. All right. So it's interesting. All right. So if you're listening,
I don't like how my day
or if you're
stacked
watching
up.
right now, I think this is a perfect time for you to comment down below. Like, what do you feel like? Because here's what I feel like happens to a lot of people when they make the statement, I don't have time to exercise, I don't have time to train, whatever. I feel like that's usually just like an excuse, right? Because you make time for the things that are important to you, bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, can I put a disclaimer on mine?
Sure.
Mine's just because it's not tax season. I ain't nothing else to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yours
Tax
is-
season, different deal.
Yours is way different during
Different
tax
deal
season.
during tax season. I understand that, right? No, I mean, this isn't to like make you feel bad.
Oh,
or-
I don't feel bad at all.
Yeah,
I
no, this
do.
isn't like to like make you feel like you're less than or whatever. Because
I
remember,
do.
comparison is the dream killer.
Oh, yeah,
right?
I know that.
But the point is that I feel like a lot of us, we probably waste more time than we take advantage of, right? So I think we were talking on Friday, and I was like, Friday, the day before our race, like I had like it was a very rare day where I didn't have much going on at all. I had taught a class and had one client, right? And so I wasted that whole day. Like I had a list of things that I needed to get done. I was like, I'll just chill. I think I spent some time on Instagram. I think I spent a lot of time on Instagram, actually. I think that's where I saw this guy talking about his day and how effective he was. I'm pretty sure I watched about, I don't know, maybe 20 episodes of a cartoon called Justice League Action. It's a good cartoon, about 11-minute episodes. So, but that's a lot of time wasted watching a cartoon, right? Well, I'm a superhero, though. I mean, you saw me, you see how I stand, I pose. And that's about it. I'm not sure what else I did. Oh, we came in here to shoot the podcast or whatever. Didn't work out very well, right?
Shout out to the dog.
Shout out to Night Dog. And then I think we had class.
We had class.
Yeah, we had class. And I didn't even do class.
No, you didn't.
I didn't even do class.
Neither did I.
I ran a little
I
bit
didn't
before
either.
class, but I didn't even do class. And then after that, I don't remember what happened. I think we went home because we had to get up early, or we had to get up ready for the race and stuff.
Yeah.
So we kind of packed a little bit. That was it. So I wasted that whole day, right? That was like 7-8 hours of my time that I'm never going to get back. That's just wasted time that I could have been super productive. And I feel like we waste so much time. And obviously social media, the popularity of it is proof of that, right? I saw a thing when, you guys remember that game, Angry Birds?
Yes.
Like Angry Birds got so big that they literally had multiple movies, cartoons,
Yeah, it's a branded thing
like
now.
series, right?
Merch.
It's a cultural phenomenon, right? But it was literally a game people played sitting on the toilet.
It wasn't even that fun.
I think I played it for like not even a week, and I was like, it's fine, but I could do something else.
I
with
wasted
time.
so much time on Angry
Did
Birds.
you?
Yeah.
I never really did.
I saw a statistic, and I don't know if there's any truth to it or any proof to it or whatever, but it said like something like Angry Birds accounted for about 1 billion hours
Wasted.
of gameplay. So that was 1 billion hours of wasted time, right? Thinking about that. Think about that. Now, obviously, that's millions of people playing the game, right? But if you spent accidentally an hour a day playing Angry Birds and you did that for a year straight, that's 365 hours. right? If you're working, if you take 18 hours, let me rephrase that. If you take 12 hours in college, you are considered a full-time student.
Yep.
Right? That's 2 hours a day, basically, right? So you literally could have gotten a degree almost if you had focused. Yeah. If you had focused that hour on something like that went toward like education or something like that.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the reasons why I don't have social media.
Yeah.
Many hours put into it.
Yeah. Wasted into it.
Yeah. Even during COVID, you got stuck in the house. I connected my Xbox. And they'll tell you like your hours spent on the game.
Yeah.
I had like 2 days on a game. Literally 48 hours. I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
I had to take a break.
I've stopped. Yeah. I used to play Xbox. I don't play anymore. Like I have a couple games, but I never touch them because like that's exactly right. Like I would waste hours playing, and there's
nothing. There's no
no
reward.
benefit. There's no reward, right? I mean, I know people are professional gamers now and all that. Don't even get me started with that.
I've never gotten to I never got that dedicated to like Angry Birds. I like puzzle games or like puzzles. So I can, instead of like putting time into like a video game or like a phone game, if you give me a puzzle, you better to hope that box doesn't get opened, because if it opens, I'm stuck there for hours.
Yeah.
So I will waste hours on a puzzle.
So, I mean, so that's the point, right? I think sometimes like we don't, because we're not intentional with our time and our day, right? We don't take full advantage of our time and our day. And so we inadvertently lose a lot of time in our day, right? So, you know, a perfect example of that is we always talk about having a training plan, right? If you want to go somewhere, you need to know, you need a roadmap on how to get there.
Yeah.
And so having a plan helps quite a bit because you have a goal to hit, not just, 6 months from now, but every single day you have some sort of goal to hit, right?
Yeah.
So, I think that for many of us, right? So I said I had some notes for you guys. So understand this. This is the Running with James podcast. And since I have my own podcast, obviously I am an expert. I am an expert extraordinaire, and I know all things.
You're basically like all those influencers on Instagram.
Right? Except mine's not fake, right? So so obviously I know what I'm talking about, right? But I would say that I feel like I've met some people in my lives.
How many lives you had?
Exactly. In my life, there we go, that seem to be extremely productive. They get a lot done, like knocking out the park, right? And what I find that their traits is that they're pretty deliberate with how they set up their day, right? And then I've met some other people who, are not productive at all. Like, they waste a lot of time, it seems like, right? But they're always busy, just constantly, just busy. Just can't go hang out. I got too much going on. I got too much busyness, right? Like, man, you don't even have a job, bro. How do you not have you don't even have employment, and you're the busiest person in the world? That don't even make any freaking sense. Oh man, I'm making things happen. I was like, all right, well, I'd like to see one of those things.
That specifically sounds like one person I can think of.
Who?
Might be a young man.
No, I'm not talking about that person. No. Nice job, though. That's a good call. But no.
Was it fair? That was a fair assumption?
That's a fair, yes.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption.
Yeah. So, but no, it's not him. So, which, I mean, if it's great work if you can get it. No work is great work if you can get it. And you can survive. But no, I just mean that, being productive and being busy are two different things.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes we fill our times with things that are not really all that important.
Yes.
Right? So we put the focus on the wrong things, right? So sometimes, I think there was something you and I were talking about, Lauren, and you said you were a really detail-oriented person.
Yeah.
Okay? If you were to ask Rocky, would you consider Lauren a detail-oriented person?
You can be honest.
Detail-oriented.
Do you know
what
that
is
means?
that?
So fixating on the small details of something.
No, I think the word actually was perfectionist.
Oh, you're talking about when you use the word perfectionist.
Yes, I apologize. Not detail-oriented.
Okay,
you said perfectionist.
I said I consider myself a perfectionist, and then we started breaking down what is a perfectionist.
Yes. Okay. So would you consider her a perfectionist?
No. Detail-oriented, yes. Because she does freak out over the little stuff.
There it is, right? So, because a perfectionist, I would say, would be someone who, you want to make sure it's perfect, right? And
we said big picture, small picture.
Right.
All of it
So
has
there's
to
big
encapsulate
picture,
together.
little picture, right? Perfectionist probably puts both of them together, right? So yeah, she micro focuses on the little stuff,
Yeah.
right? Where I'm like more of a big picture person, right? So I'm like looking at the overview. I want to make sure the whole thing looks good. I miss the details all the time.
That's why when we do work on like these events we're doing together, I'm always asking you all these tiny little questions, and you're like, "Don't worry about it; it'll get there." And I'm like, "No, I have to know
Yeah, she asked me like questions that have nothing to do with anything. I'm like, dude,
everything.
like,
They have to do with everything.
like, okay, we're gonna do this event. All right, I need to know right now,
Where is everyone standing?
like, where are the children gonna stand?
Where are the tables going?
I don't even think there's going to be any children here. I mean, I don't think we are allowing children. No. Someone may bring one child.
Yeah.
Well, they'll just stand over in the spectator area with everybody else. Oh, I don't think that's going to work. We don't even have a skier yet. What are you talking about? We need to figure that out first, right? We need equipment.
That's on your to-do list.
Yeah. So focusing on the little things rather than the big picture first. So, all right. So with that being said, right? So, I think there was something we were talking about, and it was a few weeks ago, and because I think we were talking about like the training plan and stuff, right?
Okay.
About your training plan in particular, right?
Yeah.
And like one thing that actually I think it was longer than it was probably at the beginning of the year. I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, but like one thing that we noticed was that when you do your workouts, the workouts that you never miss are the hardest workouts of the week.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, for
right?
sure.
So you always make sure you get the hard workouts in.
Yeah.
You're not too concerned about the easy workouts.
I think in my head it's easier to make them up in other spots.
Right.
That's what my brain says.
So anyway, so you make sure you do the hard workouts. But if we remember on our scale of what our workout should look like, we work
80-20.
off of a 80-20.
Yeah,
Right?
80%
So the
make up
hard
majority.
workouts is a small part of what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's only 20% of our volume
Yeah.
each and every week. So let's say we're supposed to run, 30 miles a week. We'll just use that number, right? It's a good number, right? Well, that means that 6 miles of that could be hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's 6 miles out of 30. So that's 24 whole miles left in the week.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're super hyper focused on just those 6 and you don't focus on the other 24, you're missing the biggest part of what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that was one of the things we were talking about, right?
That
It's
was
like
one of my biggest hurdles.
right. Is
for
you've got to
sure.
make sure you're doing the easy stuff. And in fact, I would say do the easy stuff. Make sure the easy stuff doesn't get missed over the hard stuff.
And that same thing kind of goes into how I do my work.
Yeah.
It's really easy because I become very I've told you this. My biggest issue is when I become overwhelmed, my brain just becomes like so
Yeah.
jittery that I have to freeze. And it just takes me a little while to pull myself out of that. So sometimes I can do the same thing with my work. Instead of just taking care of the easy stuff and scratching it off my list,
Yeah.
I will hyper fixate on what the big things are and instead of the small things that might get me to those faster.
Yeah. Perfect example. Saturday morning. Would you like to give the story for Saturday morning?
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning was a
9
stressful
o'clock.
moment for me. Yeah,
We're
so I was
supposed-
supposed to meet at 9
I'm
o'clock.
talking to Rocky. I want him to give
Oh,
it,
you
not
want
you.
his details.
I want his details. Thank you, Rocky.
Yeah. So Lauren thinks we're supposed to meet at 9 o'clock.
I thought we were supposed to
We
meet at
tell
9
her
o'clock.
9 o'clock because
We did.
we knew we've told her 9:30. We wouldn't be there on time. So 8:45, I think I get a text. Well, we get a text. I'm not gonna be there. I'm not gonna be there 9:15, 9:20. Just go without me. Automatically, just go, leave me.
I can
gonna
take
be
my
there
own car.
15 minutes later, I'll take my own car. James like, hey, don't worry about it. You're good. Come on through. 5 minutes later, get another text. I left my towels and my
wallet.
I needed my wallet.
I ain't gonna make it. You guys go without me. I'm freaking out. I'm super stressed. And I text her. I was like, hey, where do you live at? It's okay. Is it on the way there? We'll go pick you up if anything.
Yeah.
It's okay. Just leave without me. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
no, I also threw in, I think I have a flat tire.
Yeah.
Something like that. I,
Yeah.
have a
I
flat
can
tire.
make it on my flat tire.
So the whole thing is she was stressing because she had to stop and get ice.
I had to get
Yeah,
ice.
she had to get ice.
Yeah,
of
she had to get
course.
ice. And
I never got my watermelon.
And then she was like, she's like, so I'm not gonna be there till 9:15, 9:20. And then I was like, don't worry, we're not leaving till 9:30. We're at 9:30 we're leaving, right? So I tried to give a sense of urgency that, you said 9:15, 9:20, you're fine because you still got 10 minutes, right? So even if you're there at 9:22, you're still safe. But 9:30, we're leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And she's like, well, it's really tough. It was an attitude she had in the
I
text. It was
just
definite
snappy,
attitude.
But it was, not
But it was like,
myself.
it was like, I'm driving on a flat tire. It's going to be real hard for me to do this on a flat tire. Like,
No, I just
what am I going to do with
go get it done.
I was like, okay, whatever, dude. And then she's like, oh, I got all the way over here, and I realized I left my wallet at home, so now I got to go all the way back home. I'm like, this freaking chick, dude. She's all stressed
She doesn't even know
out.
about the other part.
Right? And so I'm like, okay, you know what, dude? We don't need ice. We've got tons of ice, and if we need to, we'll pick up ice on the way. Just come on over, relax. It's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And then she rolls up, bro, and she actually was on time.
Yeah.
I mean, she was late from when we told her to be here, like significantly late, but she was here before 9:30.
Yep.
We packed up, we piled in the vehicle, and we had more than enough ice for the entire day. And she's like, I just don't want to be like, what did you say?
I don't want to feel like I'm not contributing.
There you go. I'm not contributing.
You brought the kiddie pool.
That no
There
one
it
else
is.
wanted to bring.
You brought the kiddie
No,
pool.
but he doesn't even know about the other part about me going to get my wallet.
Oh.
I went all the way. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
looked for my wallet quickly.
You
when I
probably
was-
don't want to tell me.
Yes. Tell her.
So I
Tell
got all
him.
the way home, and I was panicking because I ran inside and I couldn't find my wallet or the towels where I left them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ran back to my car. I was like, okay, if they're not where I left them, where are they? I opened my car door. So the towels were under a bag in my car, and my wallet was there. It had just fallen between the door and the seat. So everything I went back home to grab was in the car.
Yeah.
I just didn't take long enough to look for it.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
That is a LOL moment in
Yeah.
its finest.
So you were just stressed out over nothing.
Over nothing.
Over nothing. So
LOL.
I think we kind of talked about this, but like I mentioned something about it was really interesting. There was during the pandemic, actually, there was I guess there was a study that came out or what have you, and it was about students at Harvard University. And I think I've told you guys this before. But like they basically polled like 1,500 students, right? So Harvard's probably pretty stressful. I mean, you got to be smart to get in.
Yeah.
You got to be smart to stay, and it's probably not cheap either, right? So they polled these students and was like, you know, list like the top 5 things. I don't remember exactly, but it was like 3 to 5 things or whatever that you're most like anxious about this year. Like, what are the things that you're most worried about are going to happen to you this year? So they listed them all or whatever. So the school year went by. They took those same students, they had to come back, and they basically, the question was, all right, of those 5 things, how many of those things actually happened to you? And it was like 90% of the things that everybody had said they were worried about, guess what?
None of them happened.
They never even came to fruition. So most people are like stressing and worried and anxious about stuff that, you know, whatever, right? So that's why I was like trying to explain to, I don't know if it was her or somebody else. I was like, you know, don't worry about something. If you worry about something if there's something you can do about it, right? So if you can change it, well, don't worry about it. Change it, right? Do something to fix it, right? But if you can't fix it, why worry about it? Because there's nothing you can do anyway, right? It'll work itself out or it won't, whatever, right? And so we were having a conversation. That was one of the things we talked about on Saturday while we were sitting around hanging out, right?
Conversation with somebody.
And I think people sometimes just worry just to worry just because they get comfortable in the worry. So, but that's the whole point of like I feel like part of being more intentional about creating some sort of a plan or some sort of a schedule or routine to go through, because that can eliminate a lot of your anxiety and worry, because now you're not stressed out about the stuff you didn't get done, right? So you actually made mention of it. You said, you know, instead of focusing on this one huge thing, working on the little things. That's actually one technique that I was taught when I was younger is, you know, do the little things first, right? That way you can just start knocking stuff off your list.
Yeah.
And usually those kind of balloon, and then you can kind of get toward wherever the big thing is, instead of focusing on the one big thing. And then what you probably do, or a lot of people do, is they work on the big thing for a while and they never finish the big thing. And because they need a break from the big thing, they go to some other big thing that they want to get done. And they work on that for a little bit. Well, they need a break from that, so then they go start another big thing. So now you got 3 big things and nothing's complete. You got all these like half-finished things, right? Instead of, I got 8 little things over here, you could have finished all those things. And now you've got things that are completed, that are knocked off your list, right? So, you know, having some sort of structure or some sort of like something in place so that you can do that, right? So the notes I have for both of you,
I want the notes now.
for both of you is simply this. Now, comparison is the dream killer, okay? I waste a lot of freaking time. I will be 100% honest. I waste way too much time, right? I know I do, right? And so I was really bad about it when I was younger, like video games, movies, right? You guys know I'm a movie guru.
You love movies.
I love movies. Well, it's only because that was about 5 years of my life when I was in my 20s where I wasted a lot of time going to Blockbuster. and renting a lot of movies and buying the $2 movies. And I would just
Blockbuster.
watch movies
That
nonstop.
$2 bin.
Yeah,
was
that's what I'm
a great
saying. Just
time.
buying the bin. Movies that like I'd never seen, I wasn't allowed to watch when I was younger, or just in general, some kind of like, people said it was good. I'm going to try it, right? And I would. And some of it was just trash, right? So wasted time. So much waste. I could have had like a doctorate with as many movies as I watched. So, but like one thing that like for me, so every single day is not the same, right? I have a schedule, right? But each day is different based on that day's schedule. So because I have classes that I have to teach, they're not always the same time. I have clients, and it's based off of those people's schedule. I have off-site stuff like classes that I teach, and then I have church stuff that that I'm committed to as well. Plus family time and all that good stuff. And so usually my day starts around, depending on the day, it could start as early as 5 in the morning. Usually it doesn't start any earlier than 5, except maybe Saturdays, or as late as maybe 6. Right. So I get up. First thing I do is I get in my Bible. I read. I pray, right? Meditate, whatever you want to call it. And that's 15, 20 minutes usually, maybe as long as 30 minutes, depending on, what I'm reading on that day. Then I get in the shower, all right? You want to talk about wasting time? If I'm wasting anything, it's in the shower. You know what I'm saying? I spend probably 20, 15 minutes in the shower. So that's my active meditation that I do. That's I call that my hot meditation.
Your hot meditation.
My hot active meditation. I've just called it that based off what this guy said. About 15, 20 minutes. Then I get out and make breakfast, pack my stuff for the day, my lunch, my snacks, my clothes for whatever workouts I'm going to do for the day. And then I head to the gym. Get to the gym. Usually I have a client in the morning, 2, 3 clients in the morning. And if I don't have a client, then I usually do some kind of work, whether it's, maintaining the website, working on client plans, checking in on clients, right? Whether it's through text message. Because usually every day by 6 o'clock, I usually have like 8 text messages. And it's all from people who've ran that morning, right? Send me their data for me to like kind of review, or questions from clients, what have you. And then, or emails as well, from people trying to sell me stuff or trying to, get me to do something, what have you, or a client, right, or some sort of church thing. So usually between, I'd say 9 and noon, it's either clients or like office work is what you would call it, right?
Administrative work.
Right. So then I have a class at noon. Every day I have a class at noon. No matter what day it is, I have a class at noon. Then I usually eat lunch, right? After lunch, I'll usually have a client, right? And if I don't have a client, then that is going to be my administrative time as well, right? So in any given day, I may answer anywhere from 30 to 50 emails. I may create 5 to 10 pieces of artwork. Sometimes I'm drawing stuff, right? So if I like all the T-shirts and all the stuff we do, like I draw those, right? Usually by hand, right? And I create them, I digitize them, and all that stuff, right? If it's Wednesday, then I'm editing a video or 2 videos, right? So I can upload it on YouTube. And then I try to get my run in. If it's, like a day like today, right before class, and then I'll do class. And then like tonight I have a meeting at 7, like for our Connect groups, right? So I'm over like our Connect groups for church. So I meet with all the leaders, right, at 7 o'clock. That's usually over about 7:20 or so. So then we head home. I cook dinner for the family. We sit down, we eat dinner. And then Olivia's got like schoolwork she does or whatever for about an hour, but that's Leah. I very rarely do I get involved in that if I can avoid it. And then we go to bed, right? So that's like a day in the life, right, for me. And that's give or take any day. Sometimes it's a little bit different, just depending on if it's Monday or if it's Friday, right, or if it's Thursday or Wednesday, right? And so some days my day ends at 7:30. Some days my day ends at 10. Right, so like Wednesdays, I don't usually get home till like 10:30 because I have church stuff here, and then I also have clients that are, for some reason, I agree to late in the evening, right, at 9 o'clock. So that's like a day, right? So I would say that on average, I have more than enough opportunity not to go work out or run, right? I have more than enough opportunity not to go. But I find myself from day to day having time where I'm wasting time, right? Where I'm on Instagram or I'm looking for shoes. But technically, could that be research?
It is R&D.
I'd say
it's a write-off.
Your line of work. Yeah,
It's a write-off.
It's a line of work.
So, but I find myself oftentimes like wasting an hour plus a day, like not doing stuff that is productive. And usually when I find myself doing that, it's when I would usually have something else I would be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a client usually at 3 o'clock. Well, I don't have a client today. I didn't plan, okay, from 3 to 4 o'clock, I'm going to make a video, or from 3 to 4 o'clock, I'm going to make this artwork, or from 3 to 4 o'clock, I'm going to sit down and finish this person's training plan, right? And so when I don't like set that up for myself, then that's usually when I waste the time, right? I'm not like self-motivated, just like, oh man, I've got an open time. Let me do this right now, because if I don't, it's not going to get done, right? So I always have to be very, I was going to say systematic. What's the word? I used it earlier.
Intentional?
Thank you. I had to be very intentional before my day even starts, right? To make sure that I accomplish whatever needs to be accomplished. And what I find is that when I'm intentional, I'm usually a lot more productive. And when I'm more productive, I find that particularly like for my business or what have you, my business does better, right? It's like more people come in. It is so weird. And it's actually weird is probably not the word, but when I update my website regularly, like you should, when I send out emails and respond to clients like I should, when we do events regularly like we should, when I post or whatever regularly on like social media or whatever, when that's done regularly, like I can go back to the analytics of like new members, new clients, and then interactions with like the actual class, like so people actually showing up to class, right? Because I keep a log of that, right? So everybody's supposed to check in. Like it's a constant uptick. When I have those time periods where like emails don't go out regularly, I haven't touched the website in a week or two. There hasn't been a social media post for a week or two or whatever. I see like a drastic decline. Right? It's the same thing like for the YouTube videos and for our podcasts and stuff. When I post a video regularly, you see a constant uptick in the views, the watch times, the listen times, and in the subscribers, right? When you don't post for like 2 weeks, it's like, pew, like drops.
Critical.
It's like heart stops, right? And so what I find is when I'm intentional about it, I'm more productive. And then here's the crazy thing. I actually have more time for exercise. I actually have more time because I also plan my exercise times into that, right? So I know on Monday, I've got to go run at 5 o'clock or 5:30, I'm sorry, because I have class at 6. I know on Tuesdays, I have to get up early and go run at 6:45 or whatever so I can be done by 8 o'clock so I can come train my client at 9. And then I know I have to go back in the afternoon and run again at 7 o'clock or whatever, or do my workout at 7 o'clock. And so I've split that one day that's supposed to be a little longer up into 2 so I can get it done.
Yeah.
Right? I know on Wednesday, I'm going to run between 7 and 8 o'clock because that's the only free time I have. I know on Thursdays, I'm going to do my run, whatever in the afternoon, like at 7 o'clock after kids' class is over, right? I know on Fridays I got to do it at this time. So I know every single day when I'm intentional when I'm going to put those workouts in. And so are they the same time every day?
No.
No, right? Are they the same kind of workout every day? No. And the intensity of them the same every day? No. But every week, for the most part, they look very similar because my schedule, even though my schedule is all over the place, it's still a very... there's patterns in that schedule, right?
Yeah.
So, that's the notes that I would give you is that even with that, I'm super duper wasteful in my time. I feel like Friday is a perfect example. Like Friday, I felt worthless Friday.
That's how I felt yesterday.
I felt worthless.
I did nothing yesterday, literally.
So, for you, Rocky, do you feel like you don't have time to exercise?
No, you're right. I gotta be more intentional. You do the things you want to do. You make time for what you want to do.
Yep.
So a lot of times I just don't want to exercise.
That's it.
And I make excuses for it.
Right. So, but when you do exercise and when you do go out and compete, what happens?
I win, but it's you don't suck. It doesn't suck afterwards.
You
The
enjoy it
pain.
more?
Yes.
You feel better?
Yes.
You look better?
Yes.
Right? So if you know all that going into it, why wouldn't you go ahead and like buckle down and create the habit? I think that's the biggest thing.
Creating a habit.
Is the habit, right? Is you haven't done the habit of it, right? So I know for Lauren, one thing that really helps her is the ones she struggles with the most. She tries to make sure that there's people around,
Yeah, accountability is really big for me.
right? She tries to make sure. So every Tuesday, guess who's there? Tuesday morning. Guess who's right there when I'm going to go do my run?
You
Yeah.
say that like I'm just such like a nuisance.
That's too late for me.
No.
That's 6:45.
No, I'm just saying, like, guess who's there?
I'm always
Lauren.
Lauren, right? Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Guess who's there?
What class is that?
there.
It's my personal workout
his personal
that
workout he
Tommy
does
and I
with
do.
Tommy.
Guess who's
And I do
there?
Mine.
Lauren.
We used to do it 11 in the afternoon. Guess who was there? Same day, Thursday. It's
Lauren.
weird. Her schedule changed when we changed ours, right? So
I'm more motivated when I have other people around me to like. do it
exactly.
with.
So if that could be one thing that could help you, right? To go out and maybe your schedule needs to like kind of maybe focus around somebody else's, right? So like I know you said that like when we go on Tuesdays it's too late for you, but I know that Mike loves it when you go with him in the morning.
Yeah, he used to hit me up. Then he just went MIA. Then he told me when I go MIA, I'm out of town. And
He didn't really go MIA. I personally believe it's because you told him too many times you were going to show up and you didn't show up. So he just stopped.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
He
also
stopped
go
wanting to
with
get his
that
feelings
answer.
hurt. That's what I think.
oh yeah, probably.
I'm also gonna stick with.
I mean, he didn't tell me that. I'm just making that assumption
We're putting
because
two
I
and
was
two
like,
together.
I was like, did Rocky go wrong with you? He's like, no, he told me he was going to be there, but he didn't show up.
We
I
have
was
heard
like,
that a few times.
I've heard that like multiple times.
James heard that, but he still texted.
Huh?
You still text me. You still let me know. I still get the Tuesday morning text. Why? Not no
Well,
more.
'cause
actually,
we're hoping one day you'll show up.
it's just too late.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I've
there's
sent it to you in a while.
There's no baby. Yeah, you haven't. It's been like 2,
Yeah.
3 weeks.
I think it's because Laura's gone and you're just on that same message. I think she comes back tomorrow, actually.
She does.
So, but yeah, so like you could figure it out if you really wanted to,
Yeah.
right? If you really wanted to, and then you wouldn't have had the scenario we had this past weekend. So the only reason I say that is because we are now 3
Rocks.
months away from High Rocks.
Yeah, yeah. Believe me, I know.
All right.
You don't
So,
want to slacking.
Oh, I
Was
know.
this a wake up call
Big time.
that's actually going to do something, or was it like you're going to forget about it by the end of the week?
No. It was actually so on Saturday after the first lap. It was like wake up call to just tell Mike you're done. You're not working out no more.
You can't cash in on that
Oh,
old,
that you are going to be his partner?
You
Yeah,
can't
after
cash
the-
in on that old
After
glory
the
anymore.
first lap, and then his second lap, just a little felt a little. I did almost the exact same time, just a little 2 minutes
Basically,
slower,
yeah.
which was good in my eyes, even though it still sucked, and I felt a little more better. But yesterday, even today, this morning, but yesterday I was still kind of done. But this morning I woke up, got out of bed, and like I could feel almost good, and I was like, all right, I gotta run today. I gotta shake this little rust off I had from Saturday, get a little cool down run, and then as well as go to core class, get your muscles in, because High Rocks is not just running.
Right.
High Rocks is gonna use
gotta
your
be able to push
legs.
that sled, buddy.
Yeah, the sled. But I'm also looking for like the same way I was scared for the heat, I'm scared for this sled.
Yeah.
And now I got to actually I was like, actually, when you're talking about calendars, like every Thursday, you just have a reminder from Siri on Wednesday night, 5 a.m. 5 a.m., you got High Rocks class. Because I forget when it comes to Thursday.
Yeah.
Because last time I saw Jamie, she's like, why didn't you come today? I was like, oh, today's Thursday? That's the life I live.
I mean, starting next week, it's going to be Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
Actually, that's going to be good for my schedule. Early morning
So-
workouts are a lot more easier.
I'm really not looking forward to that, though.
Oh, you're teaching the Tuesday one?
Yeah, for now.
Fun for
I'm
you.
definitely not looking forward to that.
Wait, are you going to teach? Are we still going to do running? You're going to do running after? Ooh.
She's like, oh, wait a second. Were you going to mess with
Are
my
you messing
schedule
with
now?
my schedule
That's all
now?
she's worried
Wait,
about.
do I need to come to 5 a.m. now?
So, I mean, Tommy gives me the same attitude, too, because, like, as of, like, since
We
we
count
got
on
back
you.
from Manchester, like, my schedule had to change because I'm doing more classes and more clients, so it's busier. So, like, my workout calendar has changed, and it's not convenient for Tommy at this particular juncture in his life. So he's been like, "Ugh." Like every time he mentions, I was like, yeah, man, I'm sorry, dude. It's the only time I could do it. I'm sorry. He's like, he's like got that like little agitated breath. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I was like, we could go earlier if you want. I don't really want to do that, but I'll sacrifice that for you. And if anybody hates getting up early, it's that
Tommy.
dude. He doesn't like getting up that early.
No.
That's like against his religion.
So then we can do 6 o'clock runs, right?
Yeah.
Right on Tuesdays. 6 a.m., Lauren.
5 to 6. Yeah.
I wouldn't be
I mean, if
opposed
I'm
to
already
doing-
up, I'm gonna go ahead.
get
opposed
it.
to doing a 6
If I'm already
a.m.
up and I'll probably just go ahead and get it
It's
over
getting
with.
easier and easier for me to do like the 6 a.m.s. It's getting easier for me.
Yeah. So anyway, so the point I'm trying to make, I guess, overall is that even though this guy, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it is a moron, and I don't think he's like living his life with that kind of meditation. And if he is, he's wasting a lot of time. Meditation, I think, is important, and focusing I think so. But you shouldn't be meditating that much before 9 o'clock. I mean, this is just he's just being a yahoo.
Well, my thing is like, how much? If you're doing that every day, how much do you really need to ponder on for 4 hours?
I know.
Like,
This dude's a
what's all going
philosophizer.
on in your life?
You know what I'm saying? And then he's like spending all this time with his kids in the morning, right? I was like, I'd be mad if my dad woke me up at 7 o'clock in the morning to spend time with me. I was like, get me in the afternoon, son, when I'm feeling good,
My dad
right?
actually used to do that. He used to wake me up. Sun's up. Come on, time to get up.
Yeah, my dad would do
Just
that to me
hang
too.
out. Oh,
None of my
my
parents
But it was like work.
Yeah, it was
was
mowing
like,
the
let's-
lawn.
let's
It
get
was doing
time to get to
something,
work, bro.
But that was us hanging out. in
Burning
his eyes.
daylight. Yeah, that was the time we spent. That was our quality time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I would just say that being intentional about your day will help you significantly, not just to be more productive, but also to be able to plan in whatever fitness and exercise you want to do, right? So many times I hear people tell me, I'll never be able to do that. Oh, that's something. Well, actually, that's only true because you keep saying that you're never going to be able to do it. And because you don't figure out the steps necessary to make it happen. And so if you want to run a 5K, if you want to run a 10K, if you want to do a high rocks, if you want to, be able to do a pull-up, right? It's simple. Be intentional. Get a plan. Work your plan. And before you know it, you're going to be at your goals. But if you keep flying by the seat of your pants and you keep like trying to hope or wish or like I don't know, like
Will yourself.
maybe that's it. Yeah, will it to happen, right? That's just not how it works. The desire for something does not make something happen. Action is what will bring to fruition whatever goal you may have. So you have to put action to the desire. Does that make sense? Right?
that on a magnet.
You have to have some sort of goal. You have to have some sort of belief system that you can get to some place, but it will not happen if you don't actually start taking steps toward that thing. And once you start taking steps toward that thing, then you get closer and closer and it becomes more of a reality. But if all you ever do is just like hope and wish and like, oh, someday I'm going to be rich. Someday I'm going to be fit. Someday I'm going to be, skinny or whatever the thing is, that someday is never going to freaking happen because you're not taking action, right? Positive action.
Preach.
So I don't know.
say.
So I don't know. I feel sometimes like, I don't know, there's some people that I know that I feel like they could be unstoppable forces of nature if they could just like be better at like organizing their time and better at like their productivity over a span, right? Like over like consistent productivity instead of like Friday I did a bunch of stuff, but Saturday through Thursday I struggled to get one thing done, right? So I'm sitting over here, I'm trying to build this like multi, faceted empire. I'm talking about running with James, like, I just don't know what it is. I was out at the course or whatever on Saturday, and people just kept coming up to me and saying, "Hey, James, how you doing?" "Oh, hey, James, it's good to see you." "Oh, man, how you doing out there, James?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Wait, did this really happen? Or
Yes.
People,
Yes.
they know you?
Yeah.
Know you?
People come up and talk to me like we were friends.
There you go.
And obviously I was polite, and I was like, "Oh, man, you're killing it. Yeah, man, what you running? Oh, yeah, I'm excited to be here, too.
Did you ask
yeah.
them how they knew you?
We're having fun." No. Because I didn't want to be rude, like we were friends, and maybe we met at a race or something, and I just forgot their name or something. I don't want to be that douchebag. There was one guy we were actually running together, and he was like, "Hey, man, I think I know you." And I was like, "We probably race together, man." I was like, "You do a lot of OCR races and stuff?" He's like, No, I think I saw you at the Brazos Bend." And I was like, "Nah, bro, I ain't never done that before." And he's like, "Well, I know you. What's your name?" And I was like, "I'm James." He's like, "Oh, yeah, man, I know you." And I was like, "Okay, great." I was like, "What was your name again?" And his name was Aiden. So we talked for a little bit while we were running and everything. And He said he watched the YouTube channel, and
there you
that's how
go.
he knew me, right?
Cool.
So I thought that was kind of cool, what have you. But like I didn't know him. You know, but it's very legitimate that I could have seen him at a race,
Yeah.
right? Because we meet new people, we meet people all over the
We see
country,
some same circus
and see the same
sometimes.
people all the time, right? And so, you know, unless I'm connected to him like on social media, I may not remember them particularly, like unless we've met multiple times, right? So we had a good combo and we talked, whatever. And then we talked later on during the day. So, but I'm building this empire,
You are.
right? And
You're doing such a good job.
it's such a great feeling to know that all this work I'm putting in is like bringing zero cash flow into my pocket.
I was wondering
And so
where
all
this
of this
was
work
going.
is really just about like, you know, local infamy.
It's I mean, it's very evident that you do it all because you just truly love it, not because the money is
Because the money's so good.
It's not the money's not driving
Right?
it.
So I'm being facetious with all the like being famous stuff. Nobody knows who I am. And that's okay. I don't want to be famous. But like I'm trying for us to like build something here great and bring everybody along with us, because was this weekend other than the heat,
He's talking to you, not me. He knows.
was
I
this
enjoyed
weekend
it.
fun?
Oh yeah.
Did you enjoy the time together?
I did.
That's what it's about, right? It's about us building something together, right? A community, right? A family, as it would be, say, right? Be able to influence people to make better fitness and health choices, encourage people, let people know what real love looks like, someone told me, I had a conversation about toxic positivity or what have you.
That was the word of the day.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
It is a
right?
thing.
And for that to be a thing, honestly, that tells me exactly where our world is. And this is why they need more of what we give. Because if positivity has ever become toxic, that is a sad state for our culture and for our world. If the word toxic can ever be attached to positivity. Now, Lauren explained it to me, and we don't need to get into it or what
Honestly,
have
I
you.
feel like you're bringing this in. We're kind of running late on time. All it simply.
I'm not bringing it in to have a conversation about it.
Okay, toxic positivity.
I don't.
He
We don't
didn't
need.
ask.
I just said
He
we don't
didn't
even need to get
ask
into
at
it.
all.
Oh, well, then why'd you
He
point
never-
me?
I'm not pointing. I did this.
He
Okay.
said, "Lord, tell me what it was. I'm not gonna get into it."
Yeah, I said that. I wasn't pointing at you. I did
Okay,
this.
okay.
I was like I'm making a point.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Okay,
right?
good.
So she's feeling attacked right now. That's why she's
No, I'm
wanting
not
to like
attacked.
whatever.
I'm not
So,
attacked.
but I'm just saying, if there's ever a point where like something that's a good thing, somebody can put the connotation that it's toxic, then that tells us right now, or that tells us like how we've normalized bad things, like how bad things have become so normalized that now if there's anything that is overly good, that is not good, or that's a toxic thing because it can be offensive or it can be hurtful to other people. It may be a thing, and I know you explained it to me or what have you, and it may be like
It's not what you're talking about. But keep going.
doesn't matter.
Okay, it's not what you're talking about, but okay.
Whatever. What does matter is that we should build each other up.
Yes,
we should lift one
absolutely.
another up. We should constantly be like bringing life into one another, and part of that is challenging one another. Part of that is, we have a thing that we do called, the whole iron sharpening iron, or the sharp as iron thing, right? And that only happens, like when you sharpen something, it only happens because of friction, right? Friction is the thing that causes, the soft stone on the iron. That's what causes is chipping away like all those rough edges. And so, with that, the whole concept of like friendship or relationship should be that people make you uncomfortable.
Okay.
Because being uncomfortable is what challenges you. And if you are not being challenged, you're not going to grow and you're not going to change. And so it's in those challenges, it's in that uncomfortable situation that helps you become more than what you are. Help you grow, help you to mature, right? Because maturity is really what it should be about. And whatever, and I don't mean like age-wise. I'm talking about in wisdom,
Yes.
in your decision-making, in your workmanship, whatever you want to call it, right? And so in that challenge, that's what makes us better. I've been challenged so much over my life with people, and I would get so frustrated with them, and it would tick me off so much. Like, oh my God, why don't you just leave me alone, right? But all they were doing was they were trying to refine me, right? They were trying to teach me, and we would get into like real like altercations, right? Because I don't like being pushed around. I'm not going to let somebody.
Nope.
I'm going to defend
I'll
myself.
fight
I'm
you
going to
for
stick
it.
up for myself, especially if I feel like I'm being like somebody's trying to take advantage of me, or they're trying to like, what you call it, bullying.
Bullying.
Yeah, if somebody's trying to bully, I'm not. I will not be bullied, right? But all they were trying to do was they were trying to like help me grow, right? They were trying to help me like not make stupid mistakes and do something dumb, right? And I look back at my life and I see that now, right? Because I'm a little older and a little wiser. And it helps me now when like people are trying to challenge me to kind of like take a step back and actually listen, right? I may not always acquiesce or what have you, but it allows me the ability to kind of like, okay, maybe there's some merit to this. Maybe I should learn about toxic positivity, right? Or maybe I should learn about something that I think is dumb, right? Because it may not be dumb, and I may be being some old fogey that's just closed-minded or something, right? So it allows me that opportunity. And if I learn about it and, you know, it has merit for my life, then I might apply it. But if it doesn't, then okay, thanks. Appreciate the information. We'll move on. We'll keep moving forward. So, you know, I think as we continue to do Running with James, you know, as we continue to do our fitness or what have you, which would be running and competitions and Habanero 100s
Or things of that nature.
and high roxes. The only way we're going to get better is if we're able to take the I don't want to say defeats because I don't think I don't think you were defeated this weekend, Rocky, right?
Take the falls.
But take the slaps in the face almost. I don't know. What would you call this weekend? What would you say?
Reality checks.
Reality check actually is probably a good way. Yeah, that's probably a good way to put
I
it.
guess it is reality. No, I got punched in the gut.
Okay, so take the punches in the gut, and instead of taking them and letting them like knock us down to our knees and letting them like, okay, I don't even want to do this, right? Let that be something that you can rise up from, right? There's this
Like a
thing,
phoenix.
like
I
a
was just gonna
phoenix
say,
from
like,
the ashes.
Phoenix from the ashes.
There's a thing. Y'all know Rocky. I'm a huge fan of Rocky, right? Y'all know that, right? I
Told you
know
guys
that.
you liked me.
Okay. I think it was like Rocky 6 or 7. I don't know. It's one of the older ones, what have you. That wasn't very good, right? But there is a scene in there where he's talking to his son, and it is a really good scene. And the scene basically comes down to this. He tells his son, it's not about how hard you hit in life, but how hard you
Ooh, I
can
love
get
that
hit
quote.
and keep coming forward, right? Keep moving forward, keep getting up. And so I think for many of
That's a
us
good quote.
in life, life is going to beat you down. You're going to be busy. You're going to have family responsibilities. You're going to have work. You're going to have things in life that you have to do. And so life can beat you down, and it can constantly be like obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. And you can let those obstacles keep you from where you want to go, or you can take a step back. You can learn from the mistakes. You can learn from the gut punch, and you can stand up a little bit stronger and make a better choice next time, or make a better schedule next time, or get more help next time and figure out how to navigate all the challenges in life. And because that's what life really is. It's really like, how do you manage it, right? A great man, name of Charles Swindoll. He's a like preacher from back in the day. I mean, like led revivals, all kinds of stuff. And he said something. He said that he believes, and it's a much longer quote than this, but he said he believes that 99% of life is this. It's less about what happens to you, but rather how you respond to the things that happen to you. You can't control the things that happen to you in your life. All you can control is how you respond to the things that happen to you in your life. So I am believing that life is 99% attitude. So our attitude and how we respond to things, how we take things on, how people talk to us. Every time that something happens to me, I have an opportunity to either respond in kind or respond in a different manner, right? When Lauren texts me, I'm going to be 15 to 20 minutes late. I have the opportunity. I can give her a hard time about it, which is my initial response and what I really want to do. Or I can say, it's going to be okay. We won't leave you. But really in my heart, what I want to say is we're already gone. We left 15 minutes ago. But I know that it's going to send her through the roof and she's going to stress out even more. And so it's my opportunity to manage my attitude, right? So each and every one of us have those opportunities. And so like as we're being successful, or our level of success, I think really is going to depend on how we can learn to take the challenges, how we can learn to take the encouragements, how we can learn to take the things that we failed at in our past and use those as learning experiences for success in the future. Does that make sense?
Message.
You know, I told that. So maybe give yourself like little things to do, like a calendar, instead of like saying, okay, I want to, you know, so here are the notes I was going to say.
Okay.
So maybe instead of saying, all right, you know, from this time to this time, I'm going to send out some emails, say, all right, I have 8 emails today I need to respond to. I'm going to respond to those emails on Monday from 9 to 9:30.
Okay.
Okay. If you have 5 days worth of social media posts and graphics you need to come up with, okay, and you want to get those done, well, it has been proven that you're going to be more successful if you knocked them all out at one time.
Yes.
Right? And you scheduled them to be
Yes.
released, right? So, I mean, every production company in the world, that's how they would do it.
Yes.
So you say, all right, Tuesday is my day from 9 in the morning to noon to do artwork for these days in advance, right? And I have to have 5 pieces of artwork done. And so you have this timetable. It's very interesting. There was a study done that showed that basically whatever time you give yourself to do something is how long it takes to do it. And that's actually not a study. It's just what people say, right? So if you give yourself a day to get something done, guess how long it's going to take you? A day. If you give yourself 2 weeks to get something done, how long is it going to take you?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's like doing those projects back in high school.
Exactly, right? So the thing is that if you give yourself those parameters to work within, but you have to be like consistent with it, right? You can't say, oh, well, I didn't get it done. It's no big deal. I'll just make it up tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
You've got to give yourself those times. So in other words, creating like being intentional with your day, and you might be surprised that you have more day, right, to come back on. And you might also be surprised that you may not have as much stress,
Probably
right?
not.
Because like in my assumption, because this is what I used to do a lot of, is like I'm a huge procrastinator. Like I could procrastinate like nobody's business, but I would procrastinate like a project until the last minute, right? And then then I would realize, oh crap, I've got 4 projects I have to do. Oh my God. So then I'd do all 4 projects all at one time.
Yeah.
And then I'd have, instead of having 4 really good projects, I'd have 4 really crappily prepared projects, but I didn't have an option. And then I'd have all these ideas once I'm in the middle of the project that I can't bring to fruition because I just didn't have the time to make it happen. And then I have to turn something in. And then later on, I'm like, man, if I'd have done this, this would have happened. Or, man, I'd have done this, right? So how many times has that happened, right? So part of like giving yourself enough time or sorting that out is that like the creative juices may flow in the middle of that for something else or to build upon, but you may need more time to actually implement that new thing, right? So just like doing that, it's crazy how like creativity breeds more creativity, like ingenuity breeds more ingenuity, productivity somehow breeds more productivity, right? Same thing with fitness. More fitness breeds fitness and fitness and fitness. So I think if we could be more intentional with it, I think those would be the things that could help take us from like good to like great. And if you're already great, then from great to like excellent.
Message.
All right, whatever. Fine. Be that way.
I don't know what to reply to that. It was bars. It was great. Hopefully they're picking up what you're putting down. Hopefully I'm picking up what you're putting
I'm
down.
going to definitely try the calendar thing like what you do. Because right now I just go based off like every night or every first thing in the morning I make a list. It's like a mile long. And I scratch them off because I get satisfaction off scratching things off. But I'm going to try the calendar thing.
I mean, even if you did that, do you put them in order of importance?
No, just write them down as they come in my brain.
Yeah, well, see.
So that's part of the
So I
problem.
just think that would be helpful for any of us, right? Just to be more intentional. I feel like I need to be more intentional with a lot of the things that I do too, right? So, like, I mean, I do use my calendar a lot and that helps me. But there are some things I do what you're talking about. Like, I'm just like, it's in the back of my mind. I'm like, okay, this is just something I need to get done.
Yeah.
And I don't actually put it on my calendar.
Yep.
And guess what happens?
Doesn't get done.
It's always something that just needs to be done.
Yep.
Right? So, so if you could be more intentional, I feel like you'd be able
I
to get a
agree.
lot more done.
You got to pee?
Yeah, I'm wiggling a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's nervous.
No, I also have to use the restroom.
She's nervous. She's always nervous about
Damn.
something.
And it's hot in here.
I'm fine. You want to ramble? I feel like I've been rambling.
Oh, yeah, I got something for you. Do I? Yeah.
I thought we gave him his ramble. I thought we took it away now.
It was 10 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. This race, first lap sucked. But the second lap, I chose to enjoy myself. This second lap, I chose to do this one. We have a saying, James, it's all about the one.
That's true.
I did this one for the one.
Yeah.
Every single one that I passed up. Everybody that I passed up, hey, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Hey, you're killing it right now.
You're inspiring them.
Hey, we're out here,
By
but guess
passing
what?
them.
You're doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, power to that suck. I was just every single
you really?
person. Yes, every single
Good for you,
person.
man.
And I
Good for
was.
you.
Y'all
Dying.
saw me after that first lap.
Yeah.
Y'all saw me after that first lap. And the second lap, I actually stopped and used the restroom. Actually, the first time ever in a race in my life, I had to stop and use the restroom. I used the restroom and still almost at the same exact time.
Yeah.
I felt like going for that one. Every time I saw somebody who was walking, or if I passed them up, I was going pretty slow. If I passed them up, they were struggling too, or they're doing more. I was like, hey, you're killing it right now. You're killing it. Thank you. Hey, you too. Most of the time I got responses. A lot of times people were just like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
don't
they have
even.
headphones in, they can't hear you.
Oh, people who had headphones heard me.
Yeah.
I was yelling
Loud. Yeah.
Yeah, they knew I was coming.
Maybe they were just hurting so bad they couldn't respond.
That's also
They
possible.
wanted to.
Exactly.
That mental hurt locker.
But that fired me up. Every single time I saw somebody, it's like, oh, I'm coming for them. I'm about to cheer them. I'm about to cheer for them. They were ready for this. It's all about the one. 'Cause you don't know. You don't know who you're going to inspire or who you're helping out. You don't know what their minds are like, why I'm out here. Oh, my goodness, I'm about to pass out. Just that little bit of motivation. Because that little bit of motivation to them actually ended up helping me out. So we're all too busy sometimes. We're all busy. We all got our schedules. We're all this. We're not intentional sometimes.
Yep.
Unless you saw me and Lauren's schedule, then y'all are probably way better than us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing better than
Yeah,
us.
right, pretty much. But no, your day-to-day is you can make time for anything you want to do. Make time for that one.
Right.
You go to the coffee shop, tell somebody, hey, tell them good morning, whatever time it is.
Right.
Beat that one person because you're probably going through a lot right now, whoever's listening on the other side. But guess what? So are they.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're not, and they can help you out where you're going through. You don't know where they're at. We don't know where people smile, where they're hiding behind them smiles.
Yeah.
So I challenge you guys to go after one today, just one person, whoever it is. Tell somebody, hey. Tell somebody, hey, you look good today.
Okay. I like
Unless
that.
you're a guy, then you're going to do it to a girl. Be careful.
It's okay. Just
If it's Lauren, she's going to freak out.
I'll still say thank you. Just
She'll
don't
do it a
creepy.
compliment.
I found out that it's only creepy if he's ugly.
No, not
If he's
true.
hot, it's not creepy.
Not
Yeah,
true.
that's how it
That
is for any
so
girl.
not
That's how it
true.
is.
That's how it is for any
absolutely
girl.
not true.
So, I mean, that's why every girl I ever
It
got a
depends on
compliment
how you
to,
say it.
she was so creeped out all the time
It depends on how you say it.
because I'm not hot.
Depends very much on how you deliver it. Doesn't matter who you are.
So you're saying if I walk up to a
We're
woman
getting
and
off
I'm
the
like,
ramble.
"You're so hot."
Yeah, that's creepy.
That's not creepy. That's just
That's creepy.
That's just being very nice.
No, that's super creepy.
really.
Yeah, that's like Buffalo Bill creepy.
I didn't tell her to put the lotion back in the basket.
It puts a lotion on its
That's
skin.
right. So what you're saying is, if you're too busy for people, you're too busy.
You're too dang busy.
That's right. Make time.
Make time. It's all
Make
about
time.
the one.
It's all about the one. I like it. I appreciate it.
Brava, Rocky.
I appreciate it.
Brava. Good ramble.
That's why I think I appreciate y'all so much because y'all make time for me.
No, I do.
I really do appreciate that. And I know you're busy. I know you have busy schedules.
That-
Why are you making this face and laughing?
Because it's funny.
Why is it funny?
Because I feel like we've had this whole thing about being busy, and then now after this whole conversation, I feel like, man, I just got to get my stuff together. I'm a mess.
So that's the other thing, right? So if there's a toxic positivity, there's a toxic negativity.
Well,
I think
that
negativity
would-
is
yeah.
toxic.
Yeah. Huh? In general,
Yeah.
negativity is all toxic.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say it's kind of like.
But the point
redundant to
is
say.
like we talk about this stuff. Don't hyper focus on the negative part or the bad part or what you think is bad. Hyper focus on the positive.
No, I'm positive that I have so much to learn about being better at time management and organizing myself.
Do you hear how she tried to make it sound positive? Did that sound positive to you? Not at all.
Nope.
You said I am positive that I suck. Basically, is what
No,
you said.
I've got a lot to learn.
I am positive that my schedule is not like yours, James. That's what she said.
Yeah, but that's the point. It's not about comparison.
Exactly.
Like I can
Lord.
guarantee my schedule is not very busy compared to a lot of other people, right?
And you're probably more busy than someone else's.
yeah.
Probably.
You're slow as somebody else is fast, and you're
true.
fast as somebody else is slow.
This is
So
true.
it's not about comparison. It's about taking what you have and doing the best. What you do your best with what you have.
Amen.
Do you feel like here's it is? Bottom line, Rocky. Do you feel like you're doing your best with what you have? Yes or no answer.
No.
Okay. Olivia. You're not my
I know
daughter.
I'm like your child.
You're not my
sometimes,
daughter.
But
Lauren.
I
I almost called you a bunch of other L names, and it wasn't Lauren. I don't even know, right? Lauren, do you feel like, yes or no, that you do the best with what you have? No, don't. Yes or no? First
No.
answer. There it is.
I can do better.
James, do you feel like you do the best with what you have? No. I can do better. We can always do better.
Amen.
Okay? Does that mean we wallow in self-pity and we get upset with ourselves? No. But remember what Yoda said.
There's
do or
no
do not. There is no try.
Thank you. So stop trying, start doing.
Start
Preach.
doing.
Right? So you can do it. I want us to talk 6 months from now and come back to this moment. And I'm going to say, Lauren, are you doing the best with what you have? And you know what you're going to say?
Heck yeah.
Yes. That's what's going to happen. And I'm going to be excited about it. I'm going to be energized. I'm going to be like, she's right. I agree. 100%. I'm going to be like, Rocky, are you doing the best with what you have? And you're going to say,
I could be doing better.
he's being honest. Right? So that's all we're asking, guys. That's all I'm trying to encourage everybody today. It's not anything like, I get hyper focused on myself sometimes, that I screw up all the time, and I fail on a regular basis, right? But it's people that encourage me all the time, that mentors I have in my life, or people like Rocky and Lauren, what have you, that I look at and I'm like, I don't want to be anything like them. And so it helps motivate me to push me up to that next level. I was doing so good.
You were going up. You were that tick mark. You're like, tick, tick, tick.
I know. This is exactly what I'm talking about. No, I'm just kidding. No. But I want to constantly not just lift myself up, but I want to help lift other people up too, right? So your boy Neil said it last week. Rising tide.
Rising tides.
Lifts all
Raise all
boats.
ships.